Mark, why are so many people convinced that they cannot sing?
Okay, this is a great question, and it's a very important question
Mm-hmm.
because singing is not just a part of our culture. It's not just an aesthetic experience that happens on a stage or wherever. It's also a deeply soulful experience
Mm-hmm.
for anybody,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're on a stage, whether you're walking through the park, whether you're in your kitchen, whether you're in your car. Singing is a way to connect with the soul, and it's a way to express what's in our inner world.
Mm-hmm.
And so it it is a kind of a, and this is my point of view because I'm a singer and I work with singing all of my life, and I see it as a kind of a tragedy
Mm-hmm.
that so many beautiful voices never know how beautiful they are,
Oh.
and how many wonderful singers never sing because they are truly convinced, they are really convinced that they cannot sing. And there is a reason for this, and it comes right back to this question that you asked. And I would say this, there's a couple of good answers, but I mean, I think the main point that I think I'd like to make with a question like that is, first, that people believe they can't sing because, this is now vernacular English, but because they can't carry a tune, we say in English.
Mm-hmm.
That they try to sing a melody and they sing it incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just think then, well, I can't sing and I don't have a good singing voice.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, for most people, absolutely incorrect. It's a fatal mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Because what it really means is that their ear is not trained. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have any real exposure to the sounds of hearing musical sounds and then singing them back.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, when it comes time to sing a melody, let's say correctly,
Mm-hmm.
they can't do it. They sing other notes
Mm-hmm.
than what they hear.
Uh-huh.
And then it doesn't sound the way they want it to sound. It doesn't sound as like they think it should sound. And then they just stop. And they
Oh.
say, and they stop because they say, well, I can't sing, obviously, because I'm doing it all wrong.
Oh, so there's this difference between my voice and the melody, which is, or the song, which is like a different language. And I speak German, so I have a voice, but then when I want to learn a new language, I need to, of course, learn the melodies of that new language.
That's perfectly expressed. And the reason why it's so perfect, because if we as adults haven't had a lot of exposure and a lot of chance to get that musical stimulus and then sort of sing it back as children growing up, then it is, as an adult, learning to sing on pitch, learning to sing in tune, is like learning a foreign language. It's a perfect analogy. And as children, we learn, if we have that kind of exposure, if we have that kind of stimulus, and have a chance to sort of get into a dialogue with musical sounds that we hear, ding, bing, bong, bong. Like, if we go back and forth and we have a chance to sing songs and melodies, maybe in the family or maybe in school or privately, whatever, if that's a part of our upbringing,
Yes.
it's a part of our daily life, then it's one of those things, just like a mother language. It's just so natural that we just learn to speak our mother tongue without even trying to, but just because our environment supports it every day of our life. And so we end up speaking our mother tongue without thinking about it.
Yeah.
And though if, as adults, we want to learn a foreign language, then it's like unbelievable work. We have to work at it with discipline and regularly, if not every day, then every few days, and every, we really have to work at it to get it.
Yeah.
And this analogy, yeah.
You know what I noticed when I teach a language, you have to open up the channel. It's just, and you have to actually encourage people to listen and to immerse themselves.
Yes.
You know, like in the womb, we are already immersed in our mother tongue. You know, we touch it, we hear it perfectly. Then we are born, and then we keep being immersed, and then we start imitating. And so I guess your advice would also be start listening to music like crazy, right?
Well, as you know, as parents, I
Yeah.
can only say, wow, what a gift to your children to daily expose them to music and musical
Mm-hmm.
sounds and give them a chance to sing along
Mm-hmm.
and give them a chance to be too loud and
Yes.
give them a chance to be too uncertain and too soft and give them a chance to just be silly, silly, silly
Mm-hmm.
and give them lots of compliments and give them lots of support
Mm-hmm.
when they start to become more vocal.
Mm-hmm.
It gives them that impetus, it gives them that motivation to do more because mommy likes it so much or daddy
Mm-hmm.
likes it so much.
Mm-hmm.
And if that kind of encouragement isn't there, it really is, it's like growing up in a kind of a sound vacuum, musically speaking,
Mm-hmm.
where that wonderful chance of learning a mother tongue, a musical mother tongue, from the very beginning, where it's the easiest, is in a certain way lost. And the only way to get it back is to, you know, like learning any kind of foreign language as an adult, is to open the book, page one, and just start to, you know, start from a different level and work and work and work and work and play and work and play until we get it. So, in fact, to this question, I heard a wonderful thing when I was clear back in the university. There was some experiments done where they, with little children that had in the family, in their apartment or the house, they had a piano. And on the piano, not at the top of the keys where everyone plays, but at the front of the keys, right here, not the top here, there's a little white space with the ivories. And there, and this is what, for example, little children see when they go to the piano and they go, ding! They don't see it from above like we adults do. They see it from below like little children. They just see that little white thing move.
Yeah.
And so in that little white thing, they put all the notes. C, D, E, F, G, and then B, C, D, E, and so forth. Every time on all the white keys. And they did this as an experiment with little kids, little kids, and they didn't do anything else. And so the kids are going, the little kids, you know, every time they go to the piano, ding, and they hear it and they see it. They hear it and they see it. They hear it and they see it. And I don't remember the exact number, but it was an astonishingly high number, like 80, 90% of these children, without any other musical stimulus, grew up with, as adults, perfect pitch.
Wow.
Perfect pitch, just from this stupid little trick.
Yes.
Wow, who'd have thought? So we can see little children, you know, they're genius at learning.
Yes.
And if we really take advantage of that and really get them to the fun of making music, the fun, the joy of sound making from the very beginning, not forcing them, inviting them, inviting them in.
Yes.
Every day, Noi, and playing around and singing with them.
Yes.
You know, awaken our own voices and awaken their voices. It just makes for us singers, it gives us a history, a starting point that really much later can really bloom for us as singers, as adults, and also just the connection with the child, the parent and the child relationship. It's a real, what's the word, bereicherung. It's a real, it gives it new dimensions. It gives us new ways and new elements and new ways to connect with your child. So that's a wonderful thing to do, and it's a thing that I recommend all the time, is to encourage children from a very early age to start making just sounds. Usually the sillier the better. Now, for us as adults, here's where the tragedy happens. I know of a lot. I mean, I just worked with so many singers over the years. I've been teaching singing for 40 years. And because of the True Voice Arbeit and the seminars and so forth, I've done this work in 17, 18 countries. I've worked literally with thousands of voices. And I can tell you, regularly, I have an instrument a world-class instrument, a world-class musical voice, but that has no ear training, didn't have this kind of stimulus as children. And because of that, they can't sing notes correctly on pitch. They can't give them back. And they really believe, this is the word, I don't have a voice, I can't sing.
Mm.
And these are people with an instrument, just from the instrument, I mean, like Caruso or Callas. I mean, these are amazing, amazing voices
Oh.
that I sit there and I can hardly believe it.
Uh-huh.
You know, what kinds of incredible sounds they can make,
Mm-hmm.
and yet they're convinced they can't sing because of this, because their ear is so weak.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had that similar. So that's, to put that sort of in a nutshell,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the tragedy comes. People really don't sing because they think they can't sing. Why? Not because of the voice, because of their ear.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And have you had good experiences with being able to train people's ears?
Yeah, I haven't done that much in my life. I used to
Mhm.
teach ear training classes in a
Mhm.
school.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done that a lot in my main work
Mm-hmm.
because that's work. It also is kind of fun, but it's like really detailed work, and you really need to show up with the person regularly and just go back and forth, back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it is work, and that's the good news.
It's doable.
It's doable,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really doable. I mean, if a person wants to invest,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a similar investment to, like, I'm talking with a language expert here, it is like learning a foreign language.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to have to invest some time, some real quality time.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to show up regularly.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to learn, and maybe some boring exercise. It doesn't have to be. Usually the funner the exercise, the better.
Mm-hmm.
But just going back and forth and learning that. But it is like a foreign language. As an adult, you can learn it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you invest, it doesn't take as much investment as a foreign language. But it does require an investment of your time and your trouble to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do that, yes, you can have a very, very, very good ear.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not perfect pitch, but a very good relative pitch, and more than enough accuracy to sing a melody perfectly.
Okay.
So that's the good news about it.
Mm-hmm. Good. And I guess the trick is to make these, what you call boring exercises, fun.
Yes.
Actually, if you really put your soul into it and you feel that it's working, it is rewarding, and then it is fun.
It is fun. I have a fun little story about that when I think about it. When you ask, when I was in university, in the university, the vocal department, and I was learning to sing and so forth, and all that goes with that. And I had a roommate on the college campus, and he was a friend of mine in high school, and we were roommates in college for a year. And he had what we call in English a tin ear. I mean, he had no ability to give a tone back correctly. He couldn't sing correct. I mean, he couldn't sing the right notes. He didn't hear them, and he couldn't sing them back. And he had an idea, and it was kind of cute, really. He had a girl there, another student that he was kind of in love with, and he wanted to do a Romeo and Juliet number. He wanted to sing her his favorite love song, and he wanted to sing it himself. So he said, "Can you help me?" And I just said, "Well, what the hey, let's just try it." So every afternoon after classes, it was like 4 o'clock or something in the afternoon, when we were finished with our classes, we came back, and he came into my room, and I got the guitar out, and I just, for 2 weeks straight, for about an hour a day, I just sang with him over and over again, this note, and then this note together with this note, and then these 3 notes, and then let's do those 3 notes together, da, da, da. And then we add another few notes, and then let's go back and add now 5 notes together, and really make a chain of notes, and over and over and over again. And we did this, and he was really very courageous. I mean, he stayed with it. We did this 2 weeks straight, and at the beginning, I guarantee you, he didn't sing 1 note correctly.
Oh, wow.
Not 1 note. And at the end of 2 weeks of this kind of really one-on-one help, he sang every note correctly.
Wow.
Every note. He could sing that song from the beginning to the end without 1 mistake.
Cool.
So he sang it for his girlfriend. And it was a wonderful experience for him, and it was a very good learning experience for me, that even in extreme cases, wow, there's a lot that can happen. If you really get on it and if you really take it seriously, you can really learn a lot.
Thank you. That was an encouraging story.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.